Hi, I'm Sarah Waggle. I'm an astrologer and a leadership coach, and I just wanted to give you a disclaimer that the following information is not to be taken as medical, legal, or financial advice. Please seek out those professionals as needed. I am simply an astrologer looking at planets and transits and letting you know what the energies suggest. That being said, if you would like to work with me one-on-one, you can click the consultations link below. I offer wellness astrology consultations where I can look at your natal charts and let you know what best nourishment or movement would best support your natal chart. I also offer the sun, moon, rising consultation. If you're brand new to astrology and you just want to get to know those main, quote, big three areas of your chart, that can be very supportive. I also offer a full chart consultation if you want a full chart reading, of course, and single transit consultation. So right now we are in Sagittarius season where we will have a Mercury retrograde, the start of a Mars retrograde, and the new moon in Sagittarius and the full moon in Gemini. Any of those transits or any other transits can be a single transit reading. And so if you're just experiencing something weird and maybe you want an explanation, that would be the single transit reading. So, anywho, that's what I have. And welcome to Sagittarius season. Let's get into the content. Thank you so much for being here. Please feel free to click the like button, leave me a comment, let me know that you're here, say hi, and I appreciate you so much. And I'll talk to you later. Hello, it is the full moon in Gemini. Yikes. This is going to be a good one, I think. Okay, if you haven't already, get your AstroGoals free 30-minute call. You can talk about any of six or one of six placements in your birth chart, your sun or your moon or your rising or your Mercury or your Venus or your Mars. And so you get 30 minutes free with me. So link is below or it's in my community section. So check that out and sign yourself up to get a free call with me. All right, let's get into this full moon in Gemini. So I got my Zoom working and the fiasco that I went through. I shut everything down, restarted everything. I'm saying all of this for a reason. Sit with me for a second. Restarted all my devices, and still couldn't get the one setting that I needed to share my screen so you guys could see the charts. Now I did do it from my laptop, but that's not my preferred way to do it. It's not going to work with clients, and so I had to get it to work from my iPad. So ChatGPT, Google, YouTube, you name it, I was searching it. And so finally uninstalled Zoom on my iPad, uninstalled Zoom on my laptop, and reinstalled Zoom Workplace on my iPad, and then went to reinstall Zoom on my MacBook, only to find out that my MacBook was not up to date like the Mac OS. And so then had to update my Mac OS and then had to reinstall Zoom and all of the things. I say all of this to say this was happening at midnight on Saturday. Because only I would choose to do technical shit at midnight on a Saturday. Meanwhile, I was working on a crochet project. My yarn had completely knotted, and so had to do some fancy, funky yarn things with that. But I'm saying all of this to say that this moon in Gemini, this full moon in Gemini, it's kind of going to be one of those like, what's your attitude when these things happen, right? Like I didn't come in this thinking I was going to have to like completely reset my whole system and update my software and all of the things. And I certainly didn't think that I was simultaneously going to have a giant knot in the yarn that I was working with. So I'm like, it's all going to be okay. Deep breath. It's all going to be okay. Because as we are moving through lots of energy in lots of directions, right? We've got things going on at the global level with global governments. We've got things going on with our national government. We've got things going on with our state governments. We've got things going on with our local county governments, right? on our local city governments and things like that. We've got family drama. We've got friends drama. We've got Murphy's Law happening left, right, and sideways. We've got technical issues. We've got all of the things, right? We face a year ahead of lots and lots and lots of change that's going to go super zippy, zappy fast. And so we've got a lot going on. How you respond or react is not only up to you, but is going to be a determinant factor of how you handle all of the energy. If you're trying to control it and you need to know steps A, B, C, D, E, F, G before you get to step A, but you're not even willing to take on step A until you know A through Z, that might be a problem. Because here I was, like, step A was okay, shut down the devices. Step B was turn them back on, try it again, didn't work. Step B, step C, whatever, was uninstall Zoom and then reinstall Zoom. So I thought I was going to have step D and be done. No, because then the step D became, oh, wait, I have to update my software. And then step E can be reinstall Zoom. And then step F is going to have to be reset all my settings because now my defaults are gone, or all my, settings that I have set as default are gone. Step E is, oh shit, now I have to learn to navigate new software, kind of, not really, but kind of. And how does things work differently in this new version of everything? And how's the layout different? Have the keyboard commands changed and all of these things? So I had like step E, F, G, H, I, J and all I thought is I was going to have A through D. So if you need to know all of the steps to even get started, that's at your detriment. Don't be at your own detriment. Take step A, because here's what I'm going to say about this full moon. I'm going to say it again once I pull up the chart here in a second. Here's what I'm going to say about this full moon. How you choose to take inspired action, even if you don't know all of the steps, can amplify moving yourself forward. Right? I'm one of those people that'll like wait until midnight on a Saturday to actually do something about something, knowing that I needed it to work for clients and working with clients and whatnot. I can get away with it recording because there's a difference in how the sound is shared, but I can't get away with it with clients because the sound will share and then they're having to hear my voiceover instead of me hearing my voiceover. It doesn't work. But if you need to know steps A through Z before you'll even start step A, because step B could be completely different. You notice I got to step D before it got different. And I'm like, oh, okay. And deep breath, go have a cup of tea, go have a snack, all of the things, have some chocolate cookies, and take the deep breath. I'm like, okay. And if I have to wait for software to install and it's going to take a half an hour, I might as well read a couple chapters of a book and I might as well work on the knot in my yarn while I'm waiting for my laptop to get up to speed so that I can finish the damn project. So you see what I'm saying? It's the same thing as people who complain about waiting for a bus, waiting for a train, and blah, blah, blah. I always had a crochet project in my backpack for that reason. Or I had a podcast to listen to, or I got some extra squats, or I, whatever. So how you choose to take inspired action can amplify how you move forward from here. So let's look at the chart for this full moon and get a little more into it. Hang on. All right, so here we are. Moon at 24 degrees Gemini, sun at 24 degrees Sagittarius. These are the learning signs. Gemini is elementary K through 12 education, and Sagittarius is higher education into PhD, philosopher, guru, religious leader, that kind of thing. So, and we got Mercury there. Mercury is stationing. He isn't direct in this chart, but he goes direct, like literally within I don't know, less than 12 hours after this. Is it 12? Close to 12, maybe even less than that. But we have Mars opposite Venus. Mars in Leo has stationed direct. You can see his number is yellow or red, sorry. And Venus, who's just crossed with Pluto, and they're in opposition. And there's this harmonious aspect between, so all the personal planets are in this harmonious aspect. Yes, there's tension a bit between Venus and Mars, but then Venus has just had a sextile, so a harmonious aspect, and Mars and Mercury in a trine, also a harmonious aspect. And this is between the fire and the air signs. And this is kind of why I keep talking about how 2025 is going to be zippity doo dah, zippy zappy fast, because we're moving from the outer planets, Pluto, Neptune, Saturn, Uranus, having been in earth and water signs. So earth was Capricorn, earth is Taurus, and then Pisces, where Saturn and Neptune have been, is water. They're moving into air and fire signs. So I think it's interesting that as we have this full moon in Gemini and Mercury and Mars retrograde at various points, retrograde, and in this harmonious aspect with each other, Venus direct, it's kind of they're in fire signs and Venus is in an air sign. And to me, this is like, take the inspired action because it might be magnified. So even if you take the chance, take the risk to put your product out there, your service out there, and if you do it with an open heart of gratitude and with love and compassion, how excited you are to get the next client, how excited you are to sell your whatever it is, something that you made, how excited you are that you got a new job or you got promoted in your job, or whatever. The gratitude behind that could make a huge difference in the situation. Now, this is almost always the case, right? Basic law of attraction here. If you're showing gratitude or expressing gratitude, law of attraction, the universe gives you more of that. Whereas if you complain, then you're always going to have shit to complain about, right? So with regards to my story, from thinking that I was only going to have to do 4 things, and I ended up doing 20 things to get my computer up to speed and to be able to share my screen again and all of that. I just kind of kept embracing it, okay, well, now I was probably going to stay up half the night reading the book I was reading anyway, so I might as well be doing something while I'm doing it, right, while I'm reading. And same thing with the knot in the crochet project. It's well, and I could come up with 1,000 metaphors for working with yarn over the 15, 20 years I've been working with yarn for life. Yarn crafting is a total metaphor for life. But, it's okay, both of these tasks took time, but I had the added piece was, but I get to have a cup of tea. I get to read my book, and there we go. Right. And so also be attentive to this weekend, because we are going to have a lot of not a lot of, but kind of a lot of air and fire in the chart, is for the 14th and 15th. Pay attention to yourself. How do you react? How does your body feel? How does your brain feel? You might be exhausted. You might be under the weather. I know a lot of people who have been sick a lot lately, and a lot of that has to do with the Schumann resonance and the frequencies coming into Earth and the light that's flooding the Earth. But how do you feel? Really take stock in how your brain, your mental state, your capacity, your physical body, your digestion. Yeah, we don't have any Virgo, but you always want to be attentive to your digestion, because I talked about it in Scorpio season, right? Where if you you aren't digesting food well. You may not be digesting information well. So you get mentally constipated as well as physically constipated. Um, and so, notice yourself this weekend. How do you feel? Are you energetic and, able to pound out a 60-minute kickboxing workout, or are you exhausted and just need to stay in bed? So anywho, I love this full moon. But I do think there will be some information drops because this is the Gemini Sagittarius axis, so it won't, feels like it could be an information bomb drop. We're also within what, 40, I think we're less than less than 40 days away from inauguration. So I definitely think there's going to be some shit hitting the fan fairly soon. It's also about to be Christmas, and I know the government, unfortunately, way too well. They try to pull the wool over our eyes when they think we're not looking, like Super Bowl Sunday, for example. But also they do that during the holidays too. So anyway, I do, though, in general, like this full moon. But I also know for me with Gemini, I don't do well with a lot of Gemini energy. I have not really done well since Jupiter's been in Gemini since May of this year. Like, and I don't mean not doing well as in like I felt unwell, but it's been like information overload, like things are moving too fast. And I've had to really pull back from a lot of things just to maintain my own energetic flow, and be really conservative and conscientious with my energy and how I how I keep going, right? Because it's been a lot of astrology, it's been a lot of information, and time has been wonky and weird. There are days where I'm like, wow, this day is going really slow and I'm getting a lot done. And then there are days where I'm like, damn, what happened to that 2 hours? So, all very normal. So, anywho, just pay attention to how you are during this weekend, the 14th and 15th. Pay attention to how you are, how your body is, how, your digestion is, your mental state, your energy, and all of those things. But also take inspired action this weekend, whether it's updating your website or, getting yourself out of some social media groups. Maybe you're long overdue to get out of some social media groups. Maybe you're long overdue to get involved with Discord or Reddit or something like that. Like, take stock of where you're actually putting your energy. Are you putting your energy into shit you don't care about and then complaining about it because you don't want to do anything about it? Or are you, getting, purging where you need to purge, purging yourself out of groups that you don't need to be a part of because you're not getting anything from it, and people in there are just complaining and trauma bonding and all of that crap. Whereas, wouldn't you rather be around people who are actually trying to make a difference in their life and in the lives of those around them, and actually empowering you to do that? Because those are the kind of people I'm trying to be around. I got enough people trying to cut me down, I promise, myself included, because I'm an insecure person that way. But I prefer to be around people who are trying to lift me up than people who are trying to do me dirty behind my back or do me dirty to my face. Like, I'm just not trying to be around that. So yeah, I got a lot of good things going and I want to keep the momentum going, and I don't need to be derailed by crap and crappy people. So it doesn't mean don't be compassionate. It doesn't mean be a bitch. I'm not saying any of that shit. Be a nice person. What the hell's the word? Cordial. That's the word. Be a cordial person. You don't have to be a bitch or a maniac at people, but you also don't need to be, you also get to have boundaries with people. You also get to say, it's fine. I don't need to be around you. So pay attention to how your body responds when you're around people, when you're in a conversation. Pay attention. All right, way to get into the energy of 2025 is, and yes, I will do a video. Unfortunately, I've had tech support at midnight on a Saturday that lasted till 4 in the morning. That's my own doing. Anyway, but I will get the video done hopefully in the next week or so. So you guys will have a 2024 into 2025 video. But anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. Tarot cards. Let's do that. Shall we? Good Lord. See, I'm telling you, I've been totally flaky. Totally flaky. Oh my God. Are you guys sure that I can handle fire and air energy? I don't know. I'm going to need like post-it notes everywhere to remind me to do things, or I'm going to have to start like writing an outline for every video. I don't want to have to do that. Oh my goodness. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. It's all going to be okay. But I'm gonna need an assistant. I'm gonna need like a personal assistant to remind me how to do my job. Okay, we got, oh my goodness, tower upright. Hugh from Borg. Hi Borg. Holy crap. Didn't I just talk about Hugh like a couple weeks ago? Wasn't that my theme? Was Hugh versus like 7 to 9? Okay, tower. So something's got to give. Something's got to come down. Something's coming apart. Now, this could be you getting yourself out of the social media bullshit that's bringing you down. This could mean some information that you're learning that sends you into cognitive dissonance because you don't want to believe that such and such celebrity or such and such political figure could actually be that shitty of a person or could actually be doing something good when you thought that person was a bad motherfucker. Okay, that's what this is about. Something's got to come down, and it's probably something to do with your belief systems or something that you thought you knew through and through, you don't know at all, something like that. Because this is the Gemini Sagittarius axis. This is all about what you're thinking, what you're learning, but and your social groups and things like that. That's what I feel like this is. Let's see what else we got from Star Trek Next Gen. I fucking love that we got that card. All right. Ooh, Page of Latinum. Upright. Dr. Rega. I need to go rewatch that episode. I haven't watched this episode in a long time. All right, get curious about your environment, your neighbors, get curious about your own money. This isn't really about money. I mean, Latinum is their currency, but it's really just pentacles. I feel like this is really getting clear about what resources you need, getting clear about what will actually have you feeling gratitude, what resources, what supports do you actually need. Yeah, some kind of clarity around supports, resources, some clarity around do I really need that guru, that leader to be, or can I just be on my own? But if I'm going to be on my own, then I need to have my own philosophy, or something like that. Like, I don't know. That just feels like you're getting awfully curious about something, which is good. What action can you take? What inspired action can you take? What book can you read? What, coach or support group can you reach out to that can actually help you, learn some stuff, right? I remember like the first time I went to my coach's training program before I was even in the program. This was like 3 years before I did the program. And like my first opportunity to observe the program, I literally like, and I had been in coaching for like probably 4 years at that point. And I walked into this program that I eventually did as a student. And I was like, this is fucking coaching on steroids. It was so good. It was so juicy. It was the hardest by the time I did the actual training program in 2017. That was the hardest shit, hardest transformation of my freaking life. But here I am, it's 7, almost 8 years later, and I'm an astro coach. See what we got in the believe in your own magic. Really? Hold up. Princess, you can be your own sugar. Uh-huh. Yep. I feel like this full moon is really about your own leadership. You've got to be able to be your own leader. You've got to be able to be your own guru. You can't rely on what somebody else is telling you because even like like most people in who talk about how good something, how do I word this? That's not how I want to word it. Hold on. Being your own leader, um I feel like there's something here about like the person or the authority, the leader that you are following. You've got to look at the money and the propaganda and the truth behind it because they're going to convince you, it's kind of like a good pharmacist, not saying all pharmacists, don't get all weird, but a good, any pharmacist or doctor that's prescribing something is probably getting a kickback, right? They're getting paid to tell you to use that product. And I feel like this is where the thing is that like you've got to really like check into that stuff for yourself. Look, I've been a medical advocate for a couple different people in my lifetime, and I'm not like trained in medicine or anything like that, but people know that I have medical knowledge and that I'm able to research and find information, and that I've chosen a natural way of living without pharmaceuticals and without over the counter stuff. But I've been a medical advocate for a couple different people. And what I will say is that a lot of these doctors think that these people don't know anything. They can't hear them. They're like, oh, well, you should take this drug. It'll probably help with this, that, and the other thing. What they don't realize is that that patient is already on two other things that are already doing that, and they don't need the extra whatever is coming from that. But turns out the doctor is being paid to tell you to take that drug, right? So just be careful when you're dealing with medical doctors because a lot of them are getting kickbacks for you to take whatever they're prescribing. And unfortunately, a lot of people have really gotten, you know, suckered into I mean, because the generation, like my grandparents' generation, they did whatever doctors told them to do, right? Because doctors were supposed to be all smart and shit. And I'm not saying doctors are stupid, but I know anyway. What I'm saying is that you want to be conscientious of the fact that you know just because there's a pill to take doesn't mean it's the best thing to do. And I think this princess card is reference to the fact that like you can be your own sugar. You can be your own sugar daddy, sugar mama. You can also be your own sugar. Just a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. Mary Poppins, okay? I don't know. That's kind of just where it took me. I hope this was helpful in some way, shape, or form. All right. Happy full moon in Gemini. Definitely jump on the links below, click the like, comment, all of the things. And of course, check out the Astro Goals free call. And I'll talk to you on the next video. Bye.